dreadful. The only new guy up front for them, Thomas is new. Carl Lawson, in a way, is new because he didn't play last year. But you can run the football on these guys, and I think we can run on anybody. Now, they will come load the box. 12 of the 21 rushes that Baltimore had in that game, and that it's really a smaller number because there's scrambles that Lamar had.
Yeah.
They count in those rushing attempts, but 12 of them were against 8 or more guys in the box. So more than 50% of the time they had to run into a heavy box, and probably like 12 out of 18. It's probably 67% of the time they ran into a heavy box. They played base 66% of the time. The funny thing, and I talked with Coach Stefanski about this yesterday, is we're similar in what we do to the Jets.
Yeah.
They play our style defense, 4-man front, a lot of cover 3, a lot of quarters behind it. They run a very similar outside zone scheme. Now, we run way more power and pin pull than we ever did before, certainly than the Jets would. That was a pure outside zone team, but they'll still pull guys as well. But these are very much the same coaching philosophy trees. LaFleur's right out of the Shanahan school. Saleh and Joe Woods come from the same kind of the mindset with that, and Joe Woods was on Saleh's staff.
Yeah.
Most recently before he was our defensive coordinator. He was the DB coach there. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of similarity. Their week 1 tape for us is not maybe as useful because now the good news is we know what they do very well because, number one, they played defense against Baltimore. It's unique. You play them in a very unique fashion. Like they won't play that much base. And offensively, Baltimore's a 3-4. So they got 5 guys on the line of scrimmage typically. That's a different front than we played. So you attack that differently than you would attack our front. So the familiarity will be there, but the week 1 tape isn't going to show a ton of things from schematically that would jive with what we're going to see from them this week.
Well, as I mentioned, it is a parade of stars here on the program, and you're not going to get any bigger than our next guest. He's the Hall of Famer, the WWE Hall of Famer. Jerry the King Lawler joins the program. He's sitting there with Gibby right now. Sorry, King.
Get his music ready. Yeah, sorry about that.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You guys are up.
I feel this is.
Yeah, you know what this means. Yeah. Jerry the King Lawler royalty gracing us here in studio on Cleveland Browns Daily. And King, great to see you. Brownie the elf on your chest.
Proud Brownie. Proud Brownie on the elf.
It's just phenomenal. So good to see you.
Well, thank you.
How the heck are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was just going to say, I've watched you probably maybe 200 times during this past week. The video of you guys when that field goal went through the uprights, you guys went crazy, and I've just watched that over and over. I can't tell you how many times. So that was one of the highlights of my life, watching that video of you, Nathan.
Well, I appreciate that, as many of the highlights of my life involve watching you provide commentary and you also in the ring and having great moments like that. Yeah, I would say my emotions got the best of me right there, King. That was just raw, pure emotion.
Yes, that's the way you got to react to something like that.
Unbelievable.
It was.
Where were you? Where were you when you were watching that?
I was at home. I had just I had wrestled the night before in Nashville, and I drove home from Nashville. Got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I could have been out on the road. I could have stayed over, but I wanted to make sure I was home watching on my big screen. You know, the first game of the season, and I don't know. I'm sure I was like a lot of the people. You know, I had the chance to meet Baker Mayfield, and you know, I was a huge Baker Mayfield fan.
Sure.
You know, I even put out a tweet that morning. And I said a picture of me and Baker together, and I said, you know, I like Baker Mayfield, but I like my Browns better.
That's right.
So, you know, I said, I hope he has a good game, but I hope he doesn't win. So, and it sort of went that way, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like everybody, I was just thrilled throughout the entire game until that fourth quarter.
No, we weren't thrilled.
With a minute and 29 seconds left. Is that what it was?
When we got it back, they scored. Yeah, we got it back a minute and 13.
Yeah.
That's what's so beautiful about it, though, I think. You really couldn't have scripted it better. For the people who did have, you know, some mixed feelings about Baker.
It was.
It had that feel to it, right?
Like, I mean, my goodness.
Him getting having the comeback that he had, and then, you know, this rookie kicker from 58, King.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't a gimme.
Yes.
Like, it's a 58-yarder. Now, did you have – so Nathan and I, obviously, we were at camp all and so we kind of knew the trajectory of his ball flight. So we knew it was coming back in.
You did?
We did.
No,
I couldn't see it from where I was. I had to
on my screen,
on the fans, but
I
you
knew it was gonna. I knew that he would start it out and it would come back because that's his ball flight on those big boomers. Did you have that knowledge before the kick?
No, and watching it on TV, like you said, it started out like it was not like it was started out straight, and then all of a sudden it started fading, I guess, to the right and way to the left, and then it came back. But yeah, it's. I never thought for a minute that he would make that.
It's crazy.
What was the longest kick? I think it was a guy that I became friends with, Steve Cox. You remember Steve Cox?
He has the longest in Browns history.
Yeah,
60.
He lives over in Jonesboro, Arkansas, which is just about like 60 miles from Memphis, and I'm over there all the time. But yeah,
wow,
that was the longest since then.
Yeah, he has he's got 60. Cade's 58, and I think he had a 56 as well. Did Steve Cox, which that was back in the 80s. When I saw that, I couldn't believe it. It was like 84 maybe, and he
I think
booted
so.
A 60-yard.
Yeah, it's 84. You're right.
Cade's gonna get that.
Yes. Yeah. I knew he had the leg. It was just a matter if it was gonna get in there.
It was every one of his long ball flight. It was never all that way.
Did you leap off the couch where you were already standing?
I was by myself at home, and I did exactly what you did. I did exactly what you did. I jumped up, threw my both hands in the air, started clapping my hands, and then it took me a little while to realize you're here. You're by yourself. What are you doing?
That's right. You were connected with all the Browns fans around the world in that moment. That's for darn sure.
It was so good.
That connection that you're talking about is something that is so special as we get set to start another season. And you're back in town, and you think about what this organization means to so many people, no matter whether you continue to live here in Northeast Ohio or not. It is the connective tie that binds this region, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And a lot of people that are watching, I think Nathan knows, but I've been a Browns fan since I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, my family moved from Memphis, Tennessee, which is where I was born. My dad worked for the Ford plant, and he got transferred where they built a Ford assembly plant out in Vermilion, Ohio. Mm-hmm. So we moved, and when I was 7, to Vermilion, and then we moved from there to Amherst, and we stayed in Amherst for 8 years. And I mean, this was Jim Brown was playing. We were here I lived here in 1964 when they won the NFL championship. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, and then finally, like we were up here 8 years, and then in 65 we moved back to my hometown of Memphis, and we had no pro sports teams down there. Everybody was for mostly for St. Louis because that was the closest, and then some for Atlanta. So I just said, I'm going to stay a Browns fan and an Indians fan, of course. I've just been a Cleveland sports fan my whole life. We did finally get an NBA team, so I had to kind of I had to sort of switch because they paid me to make appearances at the games.
That's what the $1 Million Man was right. Everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a
price.
No kidding.
So you got to be like the Guardians, looking very good right now.
I'm going to the game tonight. I'm so excited. This is like the highlight of my year for this weekend.
It's a big weekend. Yeah, you got the Guards, the Twins, right? Coming
down.
They're
all. It's tight at the top of that division. Yeah.
And then the Browns 1-0 for the first time since 2004. Chance to go 2-0, first time since '93. The home opener. This is a good weekend for Cleveland sports.
It sure is. That's why I'm here.
That's right. It brings out royalty.
I was last night. I flew here from. I was in St. Louis last night. They had some kind of event. And they had some WWE Hall of Famers. I was there with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, Sergeant Slaughter, and Bob Orton Jr. We were all there for this some kind of, I don't know. We just took about 1 million pictures with people who I'll never see again in my life.
Right.
I said all I can do is I get up at 3:30 this morning to get the flight to get here today. So that's all I was thinking about.
It's interesting. Right. You mentioned Jim Brown and the connective tissue, and you've been around so many people who just move the needle in the biggest possible way. We've got a guy playing defensive end for us right now, Myles Garrett, who it does feel like this is a crowning year for him. It feels like he just looks different, King, and I'm sure you saw that in the opener. We saw it all the way through camp. For someone who's seen all the greatness that you have, to go down there, and we've got several. 24 is pretty dang good too. But to see somebody like Myles, who feels like is reaching the peak of the sport right now, do you, with all of your experiences, take appreciation in that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And one of the things that's so different now is social media, which we didn't, when I was watching them back in the day, there was no such thing, But yeah, I mean, people are following him. You get to follow Myles on, and most of the Browns on all social media stuff. And sometimes I got to follow back from Myles Garrett and
as you should,
and the Chief. The Chief is following me, and I was just so excited. I said, oh my gosh, look at this! But yeah, it's amazing. And on my way in here, I was listening. I was on TV before I was getting ready to come here. I heard somebody talking about T.J. Watt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That just got hurt.
Yep.
And he said, there are very few players that when a team loses somebody like him, it's going to just completely change the whole team. And the guy said, the only other player that I could think of like that would be Myles Garrett. And so, I mean, he's special. He really is. He's so much fun to watch.
He is special. And I think there's a cool kind of connection with a guy like that, the physical specimen that he is, the peak of his business, following you back, little wrestling and Brown's connection. And this Sunday, we've got Joe Thomas, our good friend, the Hoff, going into the Legends Club. And his favorite thing, we were just watching him on TV the other day at a bar. So he went on the Rock show where he was, that they get the ex-athletes to go try and get these.
It's an obstacle course thing, like the something
Titan
games.
Titan Games.
Yeah.
And that's his in the back of Joe Thomas's when he's doing TV hits. The one thing that's on the wall is him. The Rock sent him a picture and autographed it, and he's got Joe Thomas and the Rock. And so I just think it's funny, just kind of the connection right there, little WWE and the Browns. Let's go.
Well, 3 days ago, I mean, so much stuff has been happening lately in my life. 3 days ago, before I was going to St. Louis, I'm sitting at home. Well, I'd actually just gone to eat dinner at a sushi place right down from my street in Memphis, and I get back to my house at 8:25 or something like that, and also right then my phone rings, and it was a number from Indiana that I didn't recognize, but I answered it, thinking maybe I might be a promoter that
wants to get
maybe to come and wrestle. So anyway, so I answered it, and there's a young kid on there. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you answered the phone, Mr. Lawler." He tells me his name, which I don't remember right now, but he said, "I was supposed to call you 2 days ago because Nick Khan has just flown into Memphis." Nick Khan now is the new, I said, "Nick Khan from WWE?" He said, "Yes, sir, the new CEO." So he's the new CEO of the WWE, taking over for Vince McMahon, who retired. And he said he's in Memphis with The Rock, and they're eating at Folks Folly Restaurant, and they wanted you to be there with them to have dinner.
Oh, great.
And he said, but unfortunately, it's starting in 2 minutes. It's going to be 8:30. And this is crazy. I said, well, you know what? My house is about 1 minute from Folks Folly Restaurant, which it is. And so I just changed shirts.
Said, I'll be there.
I walked in like 2 minutes late, and you're supposed to make a late appearance,
That's right?
I walked in, and here's The Rock and Nick Khan and several people they're in town because they're filming the entire 3rd season of the Young Rock TV show in Memphis, because that's where Rock started out. So it was. Rock is such a cool guy, and he's such a he still remembers his roots, and of course he loves football as well.
Yes, he does.
We were talking about then. His original dream was to be a pro football player. That's what he was hoping to do.
He unfortunately was stuck behind a guy by the name of Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
on the depth chart.
Worked out, I think.
I think it worked out just fine. Yeah, I think he's doing just fine. So King, predictions Sunday, win. You feeling good about it?
I feel great about it. Yeah, I think we got to win. I probably shouldn't say this, but I mean, coming from Tennessee, I'm a Dobbs fan. I wish we could see a little bit of him. I don't know if she looked so great in preseason.
He did.
And our quarterback play was not bad. It didn't beat us.
It will get better.
Like
it needs to get better.
Well, if it gets better, then I think we'll be in good shape.
But to your point, though, I do think that there are some situations where there could be a wrinkle where Dobbs has the package to take advantage of his movement skills, and we could run some read option type of stuff that we would run had we had Deshaun Watson that would have been in our playbook. So there's some of that stuff in our playbook. So we could see that. I like that. Shout out to the Tennessee guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was great in camp.
He
had an incredible,
phenomenal.
It was shocking
in the preseason.
Based on everything, I did not have the expectation.
Didn't start that
far
way.
Exceeded it. No, not first week was tough, but then he went.
So I'm predicting a win for the Browns. You want me to give a score?
Give it. Let's go. From the King's mouth.
27-13. Is that good?
We'll take it. No need for late second theatrics.
Okay.
Heroics. That's all we need. Cruise it in. Have a great Sunday.
Just relax on into your Sunday. That's the way it's supposed to be.
The King will be in the house, so they gotta do it for the King.
They'll do it for the King.
That's right. Win one for the King.
I can't tell you what a pleasure it is every time we get to see you, sir. It's just the best. We absolutely love you. Love that how much you represent the Browns brand and all of it.
By the way, we would be remiss if we let the King out here without mentioning his good friend, equipment manager extraordinaire Brad Mellon.
Wait a second.
Sure that he got another shot.
Is this our connective tissue?
Perhaps it could be. Do you have one of the hoodies, King?
I'm not supposed to tell you if I do or not. Brad made me promise not to ever tell.
Did he know you were coming up here?
Yeah. He's just
do you know he's pranked me with this hoodie?
Do you know what we've been through with this hoodie?
Yes.
They throw it around everybody else. They walk them by.
Not us.
We can't get near one.
We can't
Why? What's the deal? The equipment staff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have the hoodie. The hoodie of consequence.
He's not saying that.
I'm not
he's not saying that he
does.
He's
not saying that.
But he's not saying that he doesn't.
No, I know who doesn't for sure. Us. We definitely don't.
Don't have it.
That's terrible.
That's right. From the
Save the audio.
Send that to Mellon.
Send that.
Send it.
I was just talking to him before. I couldn't get through security downstairs. And,
what?
Yeah, Brad had to. I had to give the guy my phone, and Brad had to tell him, "Let the King in. Come on, man."
Was it Jay out there? Was Jay giving him a hard?
There's no way Jay was there.
I don't.
No, I can't imagine it was Jay. Great seeing you, sir. And go Browns.
Thank you. Go Browns, yes.
Let's
Jerry
go.
King Lawler in studio with us. From one Hoff to the next.
That's right. We just move on.
Joe Thomas coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. From one Hoff King to another Hoff. Hoff, where do we find you?
Dude, I am right now in Cleveland, Ohio. Just got off the golf course.
Yes.
Had a nice little Browns alumni golf outing this morning.
How'd you hit him, Hoff?
Country Club. Hey, we had a ringer. Patrick Murray, former Browns kicker, he was with me. And as everybody knows, kickers are the best golfers.
Yeah.
So I just jumped on his back and rode around the course with him today. But we finished -7. I felt pretty good about that.
Strong.
We only had 3 in the scramble, but still ended up pretty strong. Westwood's kind of a tough course for a country club.
It is. That's where the Browns foundation outing is. And, some par 4s of consequence, not easy greens. Yeah, the birdies are tough to come by. 7 under, solid number.
There you go. Very good. And by the way, the Hoff joining us on the Twisted Tea hotline.
Oh, baby.
I saw the piece you did with Poisal for ClevelandBrowns.com, and I saw the comments you're saying, and we've talked to you about this, off air, and can't remember if we have on air or not, but you alluded to the idea of your kids who are young, and in terms of watching you play, there's not a whole lot of remembrance of that. But now they're getting to bathe kind of in the spoils and seeing, this is who Dad is.
The Hoff glow.
Dad was someone of quite a bit of consequence. What does that mean to you to be able to bring them back for something like this?
Yeah, it's really special. Like you said, my oldest was only 5 when I retired. And, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a whole lot of memories before kindergarten. And so really – I asked her this week, I said, hey, Logan, what do you remember about going to Browns games? What do you remember about Daddy playing in the NFL? And she's like, Dad, I don't really remember a whole lot, but I do remember eating peanuts and sitting on the ground at the stadium. I was like, that's it? She's like, yeah, I don't really remember anything else. So her memory of my career as a Cleveland Brown revolves around somebody else cracking open some peanuts and giving her the delicious insides while you throw the shells on the ground. But I think it's going to be really special for me because having these moments in the stadium, wearing Browns jerseys at the games, that's kind of how they're going to reflect back on my career. And someday when they're in middle school and they tell me how much they hate me, I'm going to say, hey, you have to like me. I used to do something way back when that was kind of cool that you may remember or you may not, but it happened, I swear.
It's funny when you say that, thinking of some – we just had Jerry the King Lawler in studio, a WWE Hall of Famer, and some of the wrestlers. I know Goldberg, for example, came back to the WWE because he wanted his kids to see him wrestle. I think we will see The Rock in the ring again because he wants his kids to all be able to see him wrestle, and that's a cool thing. And I think it'll be very cool for your kids to get to see just the red carpet that is. Man, Dad's kind of a big deal. I think that's gonna be fun. And if they don't get it from the game, just have them hang out with us, and we'll tell them.
That's right. We'll have them on CBD. Love them. They're hilarious.
Yes.
But no, that's some of the cool things too, is like being able to sort of, now that I'm not playing, experience these cool moments with them. Because when you're playing, obviously you're focused on what you're doing on the field, and you come home and, hopefully you get a chance to hug your kids before they go to bed and talk maybe a little bit about the game if they were a little older. But now it's fun coming back, being on the sidelines and experiencing those moments at your side. And if there's any parents out there, that like, there's moments that you experience by yourself or with your buddies that are amazing, but nothing can really touch those moments and those memories that you create with your family and your kids.
Absolutely priceless. Speaking of family, I'm curious, are you wearing the shoes? Are you going to wear the shoes, sir?
You guys gave me great advice, but
yes.
I couldn't do it.
No!
I was like, I just felt so like, just weirdly as an offensive lineman, I still can't get it out of me that I'll do anything too flashy. And so
you're not a mushroom,
my shelf in my office. I can't get it out of my brain, guys.
You're not a mushroom. You're a star.
So
my wife will be wearing hers though. She had some made for herself that looks sweet, and so she'll be carrying the flag for the family.
Well, listen, if they're available for purchase, Bo and I are in. We want some Hoffs.
Some Hoffs, yeah.
I want some
Air Force Hoffs.
Air Force Hoffs. I'm in. I'll wear them too. And
next year.
Yeah. Next year. Gold, adorned with gold.
Gold next year. I was just thinking, Hoff,
if
there's ever a point where your kids are like, Dad, you're not very cool. I think when that moment happens, you know, when they're teenagers, you just go in the closet and you put on the gold jacket and then walk out.
Yeah, that's right.
Like not even with the shirt on, just the gold jacket and just walk around the house, just so they know.
See, I think this is
whitey tighties.
Yep.
Gold jacket, Air Force One. I think that's
the look.
what you pull on when they have their
Stogie.
first date come over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you come to the door like that.
Stogie
That's
in one
the-
hand,
I
a
wanna
glass
meet
of
your
red
boyfriend
wine in the
moment.
other, a nice French Bordeaux in one.
great.
That'd be, how are you
Yeah,
today,
baby,
young
that's
man?
winning.
What are your intentions with my
I love
daughter?
That's beautiful.
So, Hoff, what I'm about to describe to you is probably much more in the running back vein, as you would say, given that you won't even wear shoes. I would imagine you're not going to do this to your car. But Edgerrin James, who I thought put on a heck of a Hall of Fame party, and you know, certainly we got some blueprints there for you. He had, it was a 63 or a 64 Impala.
Okay.
Top down. He had it wrapped so that the whole car was wrapped in like black and gold with the Hall of Fame logo. So it's just like the Hall of Fame logos everywhere all over the car. The seats were custom, that were made out of football leather. And then he had every Hall of Famer who was in his class and then every Hall of Famer who was present signed it. And he rolls around. I think he's eventually auctioning it off to charity, but he rolls around in that from time to time.
Yeah, I can see the Hoff driving around Madison.
Here's the thing. Between not even wearing shoes and that, there's a lot of room for you, Hoff. Like, there's a lot of room to operate and still feel like you're true to your lineman roots.
Dude, I love that idea, and I might take it to the next level and make it a fishing boat. Get like a big, like,
now we're talking
$100,000 fishing boat wrapped in Hall of Fame gold and orange and brown. Oh, dude, by the way, orange and brown and gold just work well together. If you've ever looked at that color palette, I think on a sweet car like that or a fishing boat, that would be epic.
I mean,
be an attention getter.
It's weird that we don't see more of it, to be honest, with how well it goes together.
All right, boys, we got to do some over-unders here with the Hoff on Legends Weekend. Gibby as well. So last week's over-unders resulted in Gibby. Imagine this. God forbid, Hoff. Gibby is your leader. He went 3-2 in the over-unders.
Don't imagine it. It's true. It's beautiful. It's real.
Those some tinkers?
It's not spectacular.
Are you still doing the books at CBD? That's what I want to know.
It's a great question, Joe.
Cooked by Gibby.
Good question, Joe.
Joe was second with a 2-3 record.
Ooh.
And Segura third.
This is what I like to do. I let them sprint out. So yesterday, Hoff, you'll appreciate this. So last year, Gibby sprinted out to a big lead in the over-unders, and then I reeled him back in and then finally vanquished him. And so he goes yesterday. This is a direct quote. Maybe I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a direct quote. He goes, don't do what I do. Don't do what I did last year, guys. Talking to the fans out there, the flocks of the Gibby Nation. But I'm going to do it again. And the definition of insanity, Gibby, is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different outcome.
Number one, I stumbled into that last year. I let the good times roll.
Yes,
this year, same thing. I don't think about it. I don't look at the oodles of information you have, like your little flip cards and all of your analytics numbers and everything else. I just go, shoot. Whatever happens, happens.
From the hip.
So you do all the prep work, and I win. It's fine.
But you did win, but you didn't win. That's the thing.
I feel like I did.
Ahead, but then you lost.
I feel like I did.
No, that's not how it
I don't know about that. I'm going to go back into the archives, but I believe I did.
All right, here we go.
You did not win.
All right, so we always start with our two running backs on the over-under. We will do that again this week. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Last week I set the over-under at 35.5. Only Gibby went over the touches. They had 38 last week in Carolina. This week's number for total touches, Chubb and Hunt, and we'll start with Gibby, 33.5.
Total touches?
Total touches.
Over. Let's go. Run the damn ball.
I love the Hoff gives his
Hoff?
I'm going under. I mean, the Jets have a pretty stout front. They limited the Ravens last week to, 60-some yards?
Yes.
So I think you're going to actually see us open up our passing attack a little bit more this week, and we're not going to have to feature the handoffs quite as much. I think you're still going to target your running backs out of the backfield with a lot of those two running back sets like we saw, but not quite as many handoffs as last week.
I got to make up ground early.
Oh, boy.
We're going under. And the reason for that is I think this game is going to be one that does not feature 80 plays. I mean, we had a ton of plays last week. That's just an abnormal amount. I think this one's going to have a little bit more of a natural flow to it, and I think so it'll be under. But I think they're both going to be heavily involved.
Next.
Over or under?
Joe Flacco passing attempts, Hoff. Passing attempts. Last week, Joe Flacco, 59.
Led the NFL.
Passing attempts for Joe Flacco. A more pedestrian over-under this week, but still relatively decent, we think. 35.5 passing attempts for Joe Flacco to the Hoff.
We're going over there. They're going to be playing from behind, and they're going to have to throw the football. I know Mike LaFleur, their offensive coordinator, who was an assistant in the offensive line room when I was there, he talked a lot more this week about having balance and trying to find that balance, but when you're playing from behind, you got to throw it. You can't run it to get back into the game. And when Joe Flacco throws the ball more than 40 times, that means in Spanish, losing. No good for the Jets.
No good.
No good.
Segura.
Yeah, same. Over. They're going to have to throw it. They're going to try to establish the run. But, by the way, in this offense, and I noticed it last week, they had a lot of what I'd call long handoffs, 19 checkdowns to the running backs.
Yeah.
So those felt like runs, but they counted as passes. Basically, you're putting the over-under for his attempts below his completions.
Below his completions. From the week ago,
I'm going to go over.
You're going over. Give it.
Over.
Over. All right, that was easy. Next.
Over or under?
Segura. Cade York last week hit a 58-yard field goal.
Yes.
To win the game.
Yes.
Cade York, long field goal on Sunday, over or under 46.5.
I'm going to say under because I want us to score touchdowns, and I don't want us to have to kick long field goals. I mean, it's a good over-under because it's absurd.
It's nonsense.
It's a nonsense over-under.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can prepare us for this, but I'm going to go under and be thrilled to lose that one if he makes one, by the way.
Hoff.
Is it just attempted, or does he have to make it?
He's got to make it.
Yeah.
Made field
under.
goal.
Okay.
Yeah, made field goal. Hoff,
Hey,
46 and a half.
Made all the same for me.
That's right. They are the same.
I think that there's going to be a big lead, and we're going to obviously convert all of our third downs, except we're going to have the ball right at the end of the half, make a couple long passes to get within that 50-yard field goal range, and we'll attempt a long field goal right before half, and Cade York is going to smoke it right down the middle, going into the dog pound.
Give it.
48 yards. Over.
Over.
Oh, God.
For
Please let there be a 48-yarder. I just want you to call something so specifically and nail it.
I would love it. It'd be absolutely unbelievable.
Next.
Over or under?
Sacks, interceptions, and fumbles, otherwise known as sacks plus turnovers. The number here, by the way, last week our number on this was 5.5, and we had 5 of them.
That's right. I wanted 4.5. You wouldn't give it to me.
I wouldn't give it to you. I'm not giving out charity, Zagura. This team stinks too, boys. Statue quarterback. The number remains 5.5, Hoff.
Come on, dude.
5.5, Hoff. Over or under? You need 6.
Over. A lot of sacks, a lot of turnovers. I like them all. It's going to happen in bunches this weekend.
Give it.
Under.
You are a thief of
5.5 is just death because 4.5 you're taking it every day.
So here's last week for them.
Yep.
3 sacks.
Yep.
1 interception, 1 lost fumble. 5.
Now.
That's
now,
why I'm going 5.
Going to the film room with the Hoff, it would be noted that there were 2 sacks that were quick sacks, very quick, wiped out by absurd illegal contact penalties. So really, it was 7. That being said, I'm here for a celebration. I'm here for joy. I'm here for over.
That was like Princess Bride, and therefore I cannot choose the wise in front of you.
That's right.
Next.
But you know that, so I can't choose the one.
Fact or fiction?
Over Factor fiction and over.
We're off the rails.
The rails are gone. The actual over-under. I just saw this. It actually went down a little bit. 39.5, Gibbe, is the actual over-under. Get it.
Over.
Sakura.
The King
just
told
barely.
us.
These are just one side or the other. It's teetering.
The King just told us it's going to be 27-13, which by my calculations is 40. Thus,
Which is on it.
Private school.
Thus.
Private school. I might have
Right
used my
on it.
fingers.
thus, under.
Well, so you're going under even though Jerry said
Because
over?
he said over.
I thought you were going to go with the King.
No, I am.
Beautiful.
Flip it. How many differences do I have from him?
You got a couple.
I do have 2 already.
Yeah, you have 2 already.
Let's go.
So you'll
Over.
be 2
Over.
games behind me more.
Over.
It's fine.
King.
Hoff.
I like under on this one, and it's not because it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be the Browns by 1 billion, but the Jets ain't going to score either. So hopefully, somehow 1 billion will be less than your over/under there.
By the way, I just
So
have,
Hoff, you were under.
He's taking the under.
He's taking the under.
He's
All right,
taking
very
the
good.
under.
Hey, buddy. Oh, go ahead. Mr. Segura has
Anything over,
I'm-
anything. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Segura.
No, go, Hoff. Go.
Anything over 999 million automatically becomes like 0. So when the Browns reach 1 billion, they will have scored 1 billion to 0 and
Yeah.
gotten the under on that one to make me
gotcha.
successful. So
All
thank
right,
you.
very
Go ahead. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Sidebar.
You have a question, Mr. Segura?
I do. I'm changing mine to under. Great logic from the Hoff. 1 million becomes 0. And I would like to read to you guys a series of tweets that have come in over the last 8 minutes. Number 1, music is blasting over all of your voices. I can't hear it.
We
Number
are
2,
we're aware of it.
turn the music
it's a
down.
KNR
Nobody
issue.
can hear you guys
and
talk.
It's been taking.
3, tell Stevie the music is too loud. 4, cannot hear. Traveling music. 5, this music's so loud we can't hear anything since the score section started. 6, turn the damn music off. 7, Gibby, get rid of the music. We can't hear you.
It's been off for a good 6 or 7
It's
minutes.
been off for a little bit. Yeah, for
Love
sure.
CBD, but it's produced like high school garbage band. Music played over the top of the Hoff interview. What's going on? Do the over segment again.
Oh, do
Music
it
was
again.
playing. Nobody can hear it.
Oh, there's nothing more perfect. That's so perfect.
Sounded great to us.
Yeah,
To
I
be
mean, we had
fair.
a ball,
I
to
had
be
a
honest with you.
blast.
Hoff, have a great weekend, buddy.
I will, guys. I'm very much looking forward to it. The family's coming into town, landing in like 30 minutes. Going to go scoop them at the airport, and then from here, pure joy, baby.
By,
Pure
by the way, have you
joy.
seen
The
the
bell of the
poster
ball.
that's being distributed on Sunday? to
is
the
that
Don't
fans?
for-
show anybody. It's for not for secret. Didn't you see
Is
the
that-
Hoff
is
feed
that-
covered it?
Is it for public now?
The Browns have put it out 4 minutes ago.
Oh my goodness. It
It's
is
out,
amazing.
and it's
It blew me
indescribably
away.
beautiful.
Oh, good it is.
Tell me, like I know when to put stuff out and when not to.
I got to see it. I haven't seen
Oh, my
it.
God. Look at him. It's on the Browns' Twitter. Do you follow them? I don't follow me.
I do. I think I do.
Here, I've tweeted it, so you can look mine up. Look at him. Like the man of steel flying through the air. Super legend. Look at
Oh,
a jet,
my
a
gosh.
jet
Look
trying
at
to hang
him.
with him, and it can't. Look at the
Hoff,
musculature.
you got to get this. This has got to be blown up
the best.
at the house.
Hoff, can I tell him a funny story real quick? So the Hoff's
please.
talking. We're getting huge, getting swole last week when the Hoff was in here. Podes comes down. They're talking about how beautiful this thing is, and the Hoff's loving it. And the Hoff goes, "Yeah, I took 2 of the like printouts that were on like 8x11, like normal flimsy paper." And Podes was like, "We're gonna get you like a nice huge poster on, the Hoff's like, "I just had to have it." I loved it.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
I was so jacked. I went over there today, and after the alumni outing, I signed a few of those for like special guests and stuff. And you can bet that I got sticky fingers and stole number 73 of 100 for my own personal collection. So that'll be living with me on my wall in my bar for a long time.
That's
Don't tell
As
anybody.
it should.
No one knows.
Good thing
Nobody
the music was playing over this interview. So
Nobody will know that. That's right.
nobody listens to this show anyway, Hoff. You're fine. You're
Apparently they do. They just can't
good. They
hear
just
it.
can't hear it. Have a fun weekend, buddy. I know that you will.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks.
All right, the great Joe Thomas
Unreal.
joining us there. Our keys to the game coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Bath Authority can give you that bathroom of your dreams. Why not transform your current bathroom into a custom bath for that spa-like feel? Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler. Experts and factory-trained installers. Give them a call now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399 or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality, the largest selection of bath projects, and are all made right here in the United States. Superior products with expert installers at the Bath Authority at 216-220-8399 at thebathauthority.com. $500 off. Tell them your Uncle Bo sent you. What do you got for me, buddy?
Oh, I want to help you revolutionize the tailgate experience. We've got something new for you. You're going to the home opener and you want to party in style? Well, listen up. No music allowed right now.
None.
Open at 10 a.m., the Browns VIP tailgate is an all-inclusive food and beverage experience from celebrity chefs. Let me do it again. Open at 10 a.m., the Browns VIP tailgate is an all-inclusive food and beverage experience from celebrity chefs Aaron May and Cleveland's own Rocco Whalen. Had a great meal at Fahrenheit in Charlotte prior to the Browns' victory. Complete with great charity merchandise auctions, big screen TVs, gaming stations, and the best food and bar offerings in town. Tickets are $95 a fan and can be found at bullseyeeventgroup.com. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com. So food, drink, big screen TVs, gaming stations, auctions, merchandise. Let's go. The Browns VIP tailgate. It's new, it's here, and it's spectacular.
Wow. Good job out of you.
Thank you.
Browns keys to victory on Sunday. Act accordingly. Do you?
So that's the gist of it. That's the nuts and the brass tacks of
That's it. That's
if
all
you
you
want to
need
get
to do.
You are the better football team. Be the better football team. And what I mean by that is, number one, take care of the football, right? If we win or are neutral in the turnover battle, we're 18-3 under Kevin Stefanski. Is that good? Does that sound good?
Seems good.
Seems good to me. So win that. Do that. Take care of it. You go. Number two, get after Joe Flacco. Flacco last week, 26% completions under pressure, 2.3 yards per attempt, and a quarterback rating of 39.6. So get after him, and then let's make some plays in the passing game. It's a lot of fun. You got Nick Chubb. You got Kareem Hunt. You ran for 217 yards. That's fun. Of course it is. But it's also fun to hit some plays off of play action. One thing to keep in note is that Lamar Jackson, last week, he had a 55-yard touchdown strike against them, 3 touchdown passes. 114 of his 213 passing yards came off of 9 play-action completions against the Jets. They will sell out to stop the run. We need to be better in the passing game. Take advantage of it. Do that. We will win this football game.
And your game day forecast is presented by Carrier. Sunshine on Sunday, some passing clouds. A little breezy, 10 to 20, temps in the low to mid-80s. In other words, perfection for you on that. And Browns fans, be sure to stop by the free Twisted Tea Tailgate pregame party. It's prior to every home game. Twisted Tea Tailgate is located on the west side of First Energy Stadium, combines the atmosphere of a beer garden with live music, food, and drink options. The tailgate opens 4 hours prior to kickoff and is open to fans with a ticket to the game.
Tailgate options galore, baby.
They're everywhere, baby. A little segment we like to call The Scores.
Print money.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are milling about. We've got mocha shoes walking around here.
Oh, my goodness. Heat on the feet.
Just on.
Oh my God.
Good night,
I
Nerds.
thought the horseshoe was down in Columbus.
My God. Oh, my word. Good grief. Browns fans can win big with the digital scratch-off game brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. ClevelandBrowns.com and the Browns social channels. Fans can play once per day throughout the regular season by digitally scratching off a virtual card for a chance to win great prizes like Team Shop gift cards and tickets to future games. For more information, log on to ClevelandBrowns.com. Hello, Gibby.
Let's get some scores in, kids. Let's go. 15 minutes, 12 scores. Let's get it rolling.
Well, let's first remind the folks that we, after week 1, are combined 4 games over 500. And
thank you, Goose.
You're welcome. And on we go.
What was your actual records between the two?
He had a good week. He was 10-6.
10-6, 8-8.
Yep. But 1-0 to start this week.
Both of us. Yep. That's right.
Well, always debatable.
We said the Chargers. We said it's week 2, so this is for the masses. We even said that, which you know what that means, that we're saying this is what it is.
Yep.
And guess what it was?
Yep. Can't make it
Anyways, let's go to week 2.
For people.
Don't hate, participate.
Sunday foosball.
Some tricky lines.
And we get things going right off the bat with definitely a candidate for the inmate game of the week.
I mean, we
Carolina
quite frankly.
looking for win number 1. Traveling to New York to play the 1-0 New York Football Giants. Zagura, you're up.
Well, I wasn't all that impressed with the Carolina Panthers, to be perfectly honest with you.
No.
I'm not all that impressed with the New York Giants, although they showed some grit, some tenacity, some toughness. I feel like this line, I would actually have been more comfortable with this line if the Giants were bigger favorites than they currently are in this game. So that being said, I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be a problem for them. Dontrell Hilliard, former Brown, went nuts on this Giants team. I don't know. I don't believe in the Giants, so I'm going to go Carolina outright, 12-4.
Same.
That'll just be a spectacular game.
Same for the same reasons. It just doesn't make sense that it based on result and I
feel like they should
high flying them. I feel like they should be favored by 3.5.
4 field goals? I don't know.
Right. Carolina wins.
All right. Up next, gentlemen, Indianapolis, fresh off a tie, going into Jacksonville for a big AFC South tilt. Jacksonville looking for that first win still. Bishop.
Colts get it rolling. They got to go into the second half of that game in Tennessee where they get the tie. They come out a little bit angry, but knocking at the back door, Bootsy. Who's
there's
there?
An early knock here on week 2.
It looks like it. Dad, it's a woman. No, it's Trevor Lawrence. His hair's so lustrous I can't even make him out. Lawrence at the back door, 20-17. Colts.
I thought it was Mitch from Dazed and Confused.
Could have been him too.
He can sling the pill a little bit. When's
that
the last
hair
time?
Is so flowing.
When's the last time the Colts won in Jacksonville? I think it's been a decade.
Has it been a minute? Yeah.
They lost.
They lost
all they had
last
to do
year.
was beat them, and they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's right. All they
and they did not.
No.
Something about that Jacksonville situation really befuddles the rock. Colts 30, Jags 27. I'm with you.
Next, the Ratbirds, Baltimore, welcoming in Miami. This will be a good one. Dolphins 1-0, Ravens 1-0. Zagura.
This line makes no sense to me.
Agreed.
0. So I don't understand who in their right mind would not say, I get to have the Dolphins, and all I need to do is lose by a field goal? That feels like a lock. Oppo Day, Ravens, huge.
Same. I'm with you on that. It just doesn't make sense, and sometimes when it doesn't, do the opposite. This feels like one of those. I think Lamar balls out, too, for the hometown team. He's a Miami kid. I like the Ravens in this one.
Which is it's wild.
It is. Yeah.
That is a stunning line. Remember,
there's another one.
I was going to say the next one is just as wild.
It was Jacoby Brissett starting. He got knocked out of that game, did not finish it. But that Monday night game, that was in Miami where they unveiled that zero blitz and dominated this Ravens team a year ago.
1 year ago. Yep.
I know. The Ravens saying all week we're not going to get fooled again. Yeah, we'll see. By
the way, happy to not be right on that one. Would be joyed.
Same.
Overjoyed.
Amen. Patriots, Big Bill, rough way to start. It doesn't get a lot easier. They go into Pukerland to take on the Squealers in a line that I just don't understand.
I've done Oppo. I did Oppo enough. Sometimes you just suck. And I just to the point I think New England sucks. I know that this thing doesn't make sense. I don't understand how they could be a home favorite over anybody, let alone a team that won. And I know they're without Watt. I get it. But there's nobody on New England that scares you. And I think that this is like still the Belichick thing. Like people still think that he's some elite week to week. That hasn't been the case. Steelers. I hate to say it. I hope I'm wrong. I got Pittsburgh winning outright.
In honor of Gibbe, I can't back the Pukers. Yeah, the Patriots stink. But let's not forget that the Steelers had 5 takeaways, including a pick 6, and were able to put 23 points on the board.
Yeah,
and the Bengals are not known for being a fearsome defense. I think it's an improved defense.
They sacked him 6 times. They had 5 turnovers. The sacks / fumbles / turnovers would have been 11.
By the way, Mac Jones, I just read, wasn't even at practice. Where was he at?
He's dealing with an illness, a non-COVID-related illness.
God.
He's been down the last 2 days.
Could it be your boy Hoyer? You guys broke bread many times when he was here. Could this be Brian Hoyer coming in?
Then it's a lot.
For New England?
New England, baby. Paul Revere. The Patriots are coming. The Patriots are coming. And the Steelers don't have an answer. Pat's huge.
Brian Hoyer owns the Steelers.
They call him Hoyer the Destroyer.
That's right.
I don't even know how to follow that up. Up next, gentlemen, the New Orleans Saints, big winners last week, coming back to knock off the Falcons.
Incredible
hosting
post-game
Tom Brady and company. The Buccaneers, the Saints, a big NFC South battle.
I was just going to ask you that.
I think he might be
those counts when you stand there with Mike Thomas?
Yes.
You feel like they should cut to the scene from Billy Madison. You're incoherent, rambling. We're all dumber for having been here.
Yep.
At no point did that make – I was like, what's going on?
I think he might be in on it.
Is it all a joke then? So all of his interviews are just a joke?
I think it's all a joke. That's where I am with it. Before I just thought he was brain dead. Now I think it actually might be in on it.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So
this one's you.
This one's me?
Yeah.
So Brady does not play well against the Saints historically. Mm-hmm. It just does not happen. He does not do that.
Wasn't there a Taysom Hill game on a Monday night where they knocked off Tampa Bay?
Not only that,
they just slumped them. They slump them. Their defense has it. But this time I think old Tommy Terrific, he's who's to say it's the same guy? Who's to say this isn't just some robotic model?
It might just be.
That is out there doing things, and I think that he will be impervious. Bucks 29, Saints 26.
Bishop.
Bucks 29, Saints 28.
Oh,
I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
Bourbon Street will be a rockin'.
Yeah.
Up next, gentlemen. Well, this is an interesting one. The Commanders of Washington 1-0, traveling on the road to Detroit City to take on the Lions and Kneecap Central.
Boy, back in the day when we were on DLD and we're at the MGM Grand downtown and palling around with Stafford, you dream for days like this. You dreamed for days like this. I cannot in good conscience pick the Commies, and I'm not going to do it here. Come on, man.
Let's go, Goff.
Let's go, man.
I seen it, man. We got to knock that losing out, man. We were so close. I love the way you guys fought, man. The fight is there, man. Now it's about the execution, man. If we can execute, we don't throw pick 6, man.
Come on.
We're going to win.
Come on.
Let's go. I'm in. Bring back the old logo. Let's get a win, man. Let's do it, man. Leones. Come on.
Seriously.
Jared, man. Where's Jameson at, man? I'd love to get that guy back out there.
Gotta get him out there, man.
I'd love to get that guy out there. DeAndre Swift, man. Oh, boy, he is
Can't
Swift.
you see, man?
Can't you see?
I love you guys, man.
That's why I'm emotional, man. That's how much it means to me. I'm at home tonight. I'm crying thinking about how we're going to beat the Commies.
Up next, Atlanta hits the road after taking one on the chin last week to New Orleans, and it's a date with Aaron Donald and the Los Angeles Rams in SoFi. Is this? I think this is Zagura to start this off.
The Falcons' loss, the manner in which they lost, is going to be painful.
Sure.
The Rams, 10 days. Everybody's trashing them.
Yeah.
They're going to make a statement. Rams, ram it.
They do.
Some big
Mariota,
numbers here this
You
week.
saw it last week. I called for it.
Mariota at the back door, still slinging it around with Cordarrelle
Here
Patterson.
come the gutless Falcons.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Pitts. Ram it. 31. Falcons 22.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Wow. You got them scoring 22. That's interesting. NFC West tilt is next, and it is the surprising 1-0 Geno Smith-led Seattle Seahawks visiting Pedro, not Pedro's, 49ers.
Nerd.
Dad, what do you think about our Niners? We looked terrible last week when we were playing in Chicago. I don't know if I can believe in Trey Lance, but it looks like some people believe in Trey Lance if you saw the video going around, Dad.
Nerd, Debo couldn't handle the slick pigskin. It was a problem. We beat ourselves. Now Elijah Mitchell's out. Guess what? The third-round pick stinks again, same as last year. Kyle doesn't know how to do that. Nate, I'm concerned right now. Jimmy G, bad for the room. Handsome guy. Nate, Niners, big, but not big enough. 26-18.
Pedro's mustache, 90. Seahawks, 2.
By the way, my new hot seat candidate isn't Kyle Shanahan. It's John Lynch.
Oh, John Lynch. You've changed paths.
Someone's got to take a fall, and something tells me it's
They're
not going to be
0-1. The
Shanahan.
season's
Trey
Sunday.
Lance has had an interesting week. Have you seen?
No.
you didn't get
I
that
have. Boy, have I.
In the break. Not on their work computer.
That's
but in
not for the
break.
kids at home.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson-esque.
Well, he was living his best
Another-
life doing
another-
something.
Another
Okay.
avenue in that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Next.
Up next, the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what they are.
They suck. Raiders.
They
big.
suck. Huge ram it.
Las Vegas
Same.
hosting the Cardinals.
Raiders.
Next, the Bengals 0-1 visiting the 0-1 Cowboys. No one wants to start 0-2. Must-win game here for both.
McCarthy's blaming the coordinator.
Kellen Moore.
He's
Gotta be
keeping
smarter.
Dak away
You
from
gotta
the
be
team.
smarter.
What,
And more-
what
You
is
guys are
going
total
on?
bozo. And he's saying
Smarter
you got to be smart.
And more conservative.
How many rooms has Mike McCarthy been in the last 10 years where he was the smartest? Like 6? And none of them are at an NFL facility.
Listen, let me tell you something. When he walked through here and looked like one of King Charles' fingers inside of a suit, I was like, this isn't the dude.
That ain't it.
That's not
No.
it.
And yet Jarrah went, yep, sign me up. Bengals, Joe, Burrow. T. Higgins going to play. Practice today. Spin it around.
For she's good?
He's practicing today.
Okay.
So we're
He
away.
missed yesterday
He's
for
out- he's out-
personal.
he's
Yesterday
out of
wasn't
pro-
concussion. He
No, no.
practiced Wednesday, too.
Yeah, practiced. He's good. We're good.
All right. By the way, I don't.
Bengals, big.
Both of those feel so obvious to us that
There's a lot of
there's
them,
no
though.
way they both will.
No, I know.
No way.
I know.
Next up, late day on Sunday, Houston, fresh off a nice little tie, 0-1, visiting the 0-1 Denver Broncos.
Did you see him going, rush pass, guys, run pass, guys, get used to it, make it part of you, run pass, guys, run pass.
By the way,
Did you
if they're
see this?
playing, do you think that they could
Do you
hear
think
that?
They can hear that, Russ? And then
And it's
somehow
too
they
late.
bought into it. Like,
I'm not so sure about Russ.
Broncos,
maybe should have held
44.
off on that extension.
Texans, 30.
Zagora.
I can't support that. I can't support Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh,
I can't
bozos
support
all
this
around.
team until Javonte Williams is allowed to be the
Let him
star.
live.
The star that he is. He's destined. The prince who was promised.
Nathaniel Hackett is Gibbe as we are Williams.
Yes.
Do not
And Melvin
Let
Gordon.
us
be
live.
And
in
Melvin
the
Gordon's
same
the BPA.
category as that buffoon.
Melvin Gordon is the BPA.
He's the BPA.
That's it.
He's a
Throw
crud.
it some
Don't put
bone.
me in that same category with Nathaniel Hackett.
You just were. And
Dead
your
meat.
anger
You
shows
and
that
Houston.
it hits close to home.
Dead Niedermeyer. Dead.
44-37.
Oh, God.
Here's a Sunday night football
Why are
treat
there so
for
many
you.
10-point
Why-
spreads?
I
What's
hate it.
going on?
Why do the national networks continue to think that just because these two teams were once a rivalry, that this game is still good enough to put on national TV?
It hasn't
at
been
night?
interesting since Smoke and Jay.
Because people are idiots, and they see brands, and there's familiarity. It's the same. The Cowboys forever run Sunday night, even when they sucked. The Bears suck now, even though they
Bears
got to win.
at Packers. What are we
Aaron
doing?
Rodgers looks like a Peaky Blinder, for God's sakes, with this new haircut. Packers by $1 billion.
Relax. Lazard's back, folks.
Huge.
I mean, there's no way. Just so for the record, there's no way this could be a bloodbath.
Who
Proceed
knows?
with caution, but then when we get them all, we'll be chesty.
That's fine. Go
There's
to bed
so
by
many
10
of
o'clock.
these-
It'll be great.
There are so many of these where it feels like too obvious and oppo. Like I could have oppoed 8 of these.
Yeah, this is a strange.
It's a weird.
Like the only game that I even feel like reasonably comfortable with.
Well, the last one
is ours,
and the last one.
I
There's
do,
no
but
way
that's
the Bears,
a lot. That's a lot.
It's
a lot.
Hammers them historically.
It's a lot.
All right, we'll do our score coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
ESPN Cleveland.
Elk and Elk Serious Lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Podes just dropped off the game posters. My goodness gracious. I mean, how great is that?
It'd be so nice if just right here there was a button so I could look at it and know
you were on
what it is. Because they're very nice to us. They pot us down in the break. So
for sure.
Even sometimes when you first turn it back on, you tap it, I tap it, and it's not on.
It's the Zagura rule because Zagura talks right through things when you go, hey, we're up. We're going to be up here, which means stop talking, but it doesn't really matter.
Your act is tired, bro.
Nathaniel Hackett
it's
back
tired.
there.
Hackett. It's tired.
Hackett.
Yeah. Why don't you kick a 64-yarder? Go keep relying on the 7%ers.
Don't take your timeout.
Yeah.
Let's get a timeout here, E.
Let's get a timeout.
Well,
Let's get a timeout, Hack.
I mean, if it's the over-unders, I'm probably winning that.
Are they trying to draw it off?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let's get a timeout here, E.
I don't think so. Let's get a timeout.
Did you see what the University of Texas spent on Arch Manning's official visit to the University of Texas? before we pick our game? $380,000 on a weekend.
Not enough.
They got him, so it was enough. As it turned out. How do you spend $380,000 in Austin, Texas on a weekend? Just entertaining.
Well, there's lots of options.
That's a lot. Now you know. Now you know. No, that doesn't cost that much. That's not $300,000 for that. I knew he'd like that. Be a big fan.
Oh, now he's back. Now he's back.
All right. It is us. It is the Jets.
Why not? The Hoff is there, 73-10.
Browns 73. Jets 0. Take that, Flacco.
Yeah. Looking at 17-4 against us, bro. Staring it right in the face.
Going to be a fun one. Enjoy it. Should be picture perfect. I mean, it should be an incredible day.
Get into your seats early. There is a lot of things planned. A lot of people in this building have worked really hard, and there's going to be some really cool moments and things leading up to kick and through kick.
A tease. A scores, if you will.
Oh, Gibby.
A tease out of Gibby.
Oh, baby.
There you go. The next level is coming up next. We're back here on Monday to break it all down. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.